When I started this year, I was trying really hard to find or to do all of the Charlotte Mason principles that I could, and I really focused on Plutarch. It was just, a lot of the nature study and picture studies I have been doing. I kind of had already been doing it. I'm sorry. I really need a haircut, and my hair's driving me crazy. Okay. I've been doing a lot of the picture studies and poetry and all those other things, but Plutarch as its own subject, I really hadn't done a lot of. And so when I began my daughter's 4th year, which of course then you start doing Plutarch, I did go on to the Ambleside and I printed all of the Ambleside's Plutarch simplified, but also the teacher. And then I had this parents review, Plutarch's lives as affording some education as citizens, and just basically why you do Plutarch and all of that. I had all of this, and then I started it with my daughter, and to be honest, I was ready to give it up. And I would go on message boards, and of course, Plutarch was something everybody seemed to struggle with. And then I did the video with Pepper and Pine about the kind of contrast between Charlotte Mason and Waldorf education, and I brought up Plutarch again. And it just seemed like there was this confusion, what is Plutarch and why are we doing it? And it was a question that was good for me too, because I associate with the only reason somebody would ever do Plutarch is because they're following a Charlotte Mason education. Then, after all of this is happening and I started really struggling with it, it was, okay, well, wait a minute. Why are we doing Plutarch? I was researching it. I had, the big old main book that I had bought last year, because I was going to start this last year with my daughter, and I never got around to it. And it's heavy, heavy reading. And so going to the simpler one, I was like, okay, this will be better. This will make it, more understandable as to why we're doing this. And it didn't. And I got on and I asked, well, what are we doing? And everybody said, we'll do it this way. And then I asked, the dangerous question, why are we doing this? What is the purpose? Until I can have that understanding in my head, I don't know what I'm teaching. I'm just reading a textbook, basically. I have no relation with this subject. And of course, there was a ton of people, oh, you must do it, in order to be true Charlotte Mason follower, you need to do Plutarch. Charlotte Mason, it's one of the few things that she talked about that we must do it. There was a bunch of this kind of thing, don't give up, keep going, and I was really, really struggling. So then, I've actually had a couple of people ask me, what are you doing for Plutarch? How are you teaching it? And of course I'm just like, oh my goodness, did you have to ask that question? And I went to Google, and so I typed in Plutarch, Charlotte Mason. Now I don't have that computer program that I can show you what I saw, but just go to it. If you're going through Google, I would assume you get the same results I have, because its algorithm is based on what is the most clicks. I thought maybe Plutarch was only an Ambleside thing, but Simply Charlotte Mason talks about it, as well as like the Afterthoughts blog and Charlotte Mason Help, and many other well-known Charlotte Mason blogs were discussing it. Then the other night, I just happened to pick up my school education. I was looking through the back for some help on a subject, and I don't know if you know this, but in these, they're kind of like sample lessons in the back. And this one would just happen to be subject from Plutarch's Greek Lives, Alexander the Great. An introductory lesson. Group history, class, I think it's 2. Class 2, ages 8 and 9, time 30 minutes. Here's what got me. Objects. To establish relations with the past. To introduce the boys to a fresh hero. To stir them with admiration of the wisdom, valor, and self-reliance of Alexander the Great. To increase the boys' power of narration. And we're talking about different things. Ask them, what are the qualities which go to make a hero. Draw from them how we can trace these qualities in Alexander. We notice wisdom, perseverance, self-reliance, observation, courage, prudence, all their things, subjects. Okay, so then we go on to other things. Okay, so then this one's a little bit different. Subject narration, Plutarch's Life of Alexander, part of the term's work. Group language, class 2, average 10. Average age 10, time 20 minutes. Objects, to improve the children's power of narration by impressing on them Plutarch's style as translated by North, and making them narrate as much as possible to his own words. To rouse the children in admiration of Alexander's love of simplicity, generosity, and kindness to his men. Lesson. Connect the last lesson by questioning the children. They read last time stories illustrating Alexander's graciousness and tact. Tell the children shortly the substance of what I am going to read them. Let them find any places mentioned in their maps. Step 3. And then step 4. Ask the children in turn to narrate each narrating part of what was read. Okay? When you look at what the object of the lesson was, you don't have, I chose at that point to get to the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is to give them good heroes. The heart of the matter is not only to give them good heroes, but to give them qualities to attain. I don't have to do that with Plutarch. I can do that with the lives of the founding fathers. I can do that with the qualities that they had, George Washington, his honesty, his loyalty, all of these things. I can do that with him. I don't have to do that with Plutarch. Even later on, I was thinking, a lot of the Plutarch's lives in the Roman livelihood and how Rome affects us today through all of these great leaders can be found very simply in the Uncle Eric books. Uncle Eric, this was my favorite subject in high school. I love these books. There's Whatever Happened to Penny Candy, Ancient Rome, How It Affects You Today, Whatever Happened to Justice, which was one of my favorites. Many, many others. World War I, World War II, Thomas Jefferson, what would he think about this? All of those books, I think, is your modern day language of Plutarch's lives. Now remember, Charlotte Mason was in the 1800s. In the late 1800s. The vastness of literature wasn't there like it is today. I'm not saying that there wasn't any literature. There's a lot. There's a lot of publication. But it wasn't like it was today. And because of that, because we have this richness of books, literature, lives, biographies, etc., I'm not going to push Plutarch. I'm not going to never open it again. I believe that there is some goodness in there, and I will probably later on go ahead and introduce that, but I think that's going to be okay just to start doing in high school. So that's why I'm going to set aside these Plutarch books, and I believe my daughter will be okay, my son will be okay, my children will be okay if I just maybe bring those back in high school. They're there for college, but I'm not trying to cram every single thing I can into my children before they hit college. I'm trying to give them a living education. And if the science of relation, something that they can relate to, I think they'll relate more with the founding fathers of their own country and the principles that bring them admiration today, rather than a language that maybe they can't comprehend right now. And over time, the building of patriotism to our own country, to the qualities that started this country, those are the signs of relations that I want my children to have. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I don't really know if it's a question of being right or wrong. But, I just wanted to put this out there because it does seem like Plutarch is one of those subjects that not a lot of people truly understand. I don't know if I've given enough information on that, so if you have any questions, I encourage you to leave them in the comment section down below. I will do my best to try to help you. To be honest, this is an area that I am still learning. It's very heavy, And to be honest, in my spare time of learning things, the heavier subjects like this are not the first on my plate. I have enough trouble trying to finish going through all of these novels and going back and at different times for what I need without adding too much more to my plate. And like I said, I think she will get a lot more out of this later on if she has a thorough but simpler understanding, kind of what the backstory of all of these are. Alright everybody, I'm going to just leave it at that. Again, I encourage you, if you have any questions, to leave them in the comment section down below. I will try to link up some articles as to why Plutarch was used in a Charlotte Mason education. And I hope those will be helpful to you. I am not even going to try to put that out there. I am just sharing in this video why I've set aside Plutarch and how I'm going to be using the Plutarch objects, the objects of the lessons, as she talked about in her book, why I'm going to be switching to an Uncle Eric series, as well as mainly focusing on the qualities, biographies of our founding fathers, not just our founding fathers. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to be focusing more on the citizenship of our own country. So the founding fathers, the documents that helped shape our country, maybe some of the things that are current events and how that affects us as citizens, how our justice system works, how our political system works. These are things that, if you think about how Roman history worked, Plutarch would help bring that to light, and how our American system works. I'm using other resources now to do that. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments down below. I know I keep saying that, but don't just leave questions, but maybe leave your thoughts down below. If you've been doing Charlotte Mason for a while, there goes the door. Oops. There goes my door. There goes my lighting. If you've been doing Charlotte Mason for a while, I encourage you also to leave your thoughts down below. Have you guys done Plutarch? What do you think about it? Have you found another way to do it? All of these things. I would love for you to share your time in the comment section down below. And I will see you in my next video. And until next time, have a blessed day. Bye.